Welcome, dear viewers, here on Rift Entertainment at the Elite Series League of Legends 2nd Division broadcast. We are in the playoffs after those 7 weeks of regular season. We've already had the first match, the Juggernaut matchup between the Rift Slavs and Full Clear Esports behind us on Tuesday, where the Rift Slavs kept their streak going. 3-0, they went through the best of 5, putting Full Clear Esports in the semi-finals. And tonight we are gonna see the elimination matchup between Dynasty and JMGG, the newcomer here in this split. And for that I have by my side none other than the one, the only, the bearded man, QG. Welcome, QG. There he is.
Hello, we are back again.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, back again. It's been a while, and I
It's
mean,
been a while.
things are gonna get hot tonight because I believe JMGG versus Dynasty is gonna be one hell of a banger matchup.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty close. It's gonna be very interesting. The drafts are very interesting, and also the people were just we are hyped for this, and I think to be on the top of this top 4. It's also interesting who's gonna play against Full Clear, and later on who can get the slots off their throne to just
To see who
redo
gets
the
the
playoffs
shots.
from last time.
Yeah, redo the playoffs. Who's gonna take the Slavs out, or did they break their curse? Well, we will see who might be a potential contender tonight between JMGG and Dynasty. Maybe we can get a small refresher of how the regular season went with the standings, so you can get a better idea as to why we think that matchup is gonna be one hell of a banger. Because it's been long undecided who would be taking those 2 seeds, 3rd seed and 4th seed, which in the end JMGG and Dynasty got. It was decided literally during the last matches of the regular season, because you can see that they are perfectly tied, and Pertinax and Next are like just right behind them, off by 1 point. And Dynasty decided their spot with the very last match event versus Once Upon a Team, because if they had lost it, it would have been completely different. Pertinax would have gotten that seed, Next would have been 5th, and Dynasty would even have been 6th, but they took that win, and with that followed JMGG in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I'm just checking something, so I can see the head-to-head of both of these teams if my internet wants to load, but apparently it's first day and we don't want to load.
Waiting for you, I guess. But they were really tight. Like, this whole middle of the pack thing was super packed. You had the Rift Slavs unbeaten at first. Full Clear Esports were almost always like differentiated from the rest in 2nd spot. But then from 3rd to almost last, you had this massive teams that just were perma-tied. And I really like, if you go to the Leaguepedia page, you can actually see the timeline, how teams evolved over the course of the split, and there you can clearly see that it just was so undecided up until the very last moments. And I think that's beautiful, and this is also something to take away for the next few splits, because it means that these teams that are gonna stay, because they don't risk going down, some might just go up in Division 1. They'll be competing next split as the next season, actually, even as well, and they're already so close, and it's just beautiful to see that they'll be able to keep competing against each other, and hopefully at such a high level as well.
Yeah, and I also checked JMGG against Dynasty, they are 1-1, so it's a 50% chance who's gonna take it home, actually, from stat-wise, but I have my favorite in mind. I'm gonna tell you later, because so I don't spoil you after and spoil you before, and we can just, I think we just go to the head-to-head, or do we want to do the playoff first?
think.
We do the playoff first. Yeah, well, yesterday, no, on Tuesday, sorry, not
Tuesday, yeah.
yesterday. The ESLOL beat Full Clear Esports in the trio. And then we have on the match 2 today, we have German Gang against Dynasty, and the winner of today goes against Full Clear Esports next week, Wednesday, on the 2nd of August. And the winner of that will meet the ESLOL at the finals. And that will be on the 4th of August. And we also have something prepared for that, so stay tuned for next week. We have some cool things coming up.
Matchups, and well, that play will be decided today. German Gang versus Dynasty. You have on one side Dynasty, of course, which has been there for a while here at the ESLOL second division. German Gang, who came through from the amateur circuit, so a complete newcomer, and it's kind of like Spring Split all over again with newcomers coming in playoffs, coming in strong, full.
It's like the Reapers.
Yeah.
It's like the Reapers. So it could be that because of the last playoffs, German Gang should, in history, should have the upper head here, because they have the faith of the amateur circuit in them. But will they concede? We'll see that in like 13 minutes. But yeah, let's talk about the head-to-head of both teams, and there you see the wonderful graphic that the guys behind the stream did. You have German Gang with the shortest game time of these two teams, with 24 minutes 29 seconds, and they also have the average game time is lower. Yeah, Dynasty, they have the late game buff. They always win late game, so their game takes longer, and they also, their KD is better. Dynasty's CS per minute is better, 0.3, it's not that much. Their gold per minute is like 11 gold per minute, it's better. Yeah, in a game of 32 minutes, it's like 300 gold. That's not that much. It's like a long sword, so 1080, so there's not much of a difference. The damage per minute, that is actually higher in longer games. That means you have to really take care of these team fight Dynasty games, where they can bash a lot of damage and win these fights. And there you see that they are very fight heavy, and also late game team fight heavy, that they can win that actually. So yeah, Loic, on these how do you call it, on this head-to-head, who do you think, or how do you have something in mind what's going on today, or do you want to see even further?
I mean, I think we can already take a few conclusions out of this. We have German Gang, which usually have a very quick pace compared to Dynasty. 2 minutes isn't that much, but these 2 minutes around the 30-minute mark are the ones you feel the most, I would say, in this level of competitive play. I mean, it's almost even 3 minutes on average.
It also tells you that German Gang can finish their games 2 minutes faster.
Yeah.
So they don't give Dynasty the 2 minutes that they actually need. They just gonna finish faster. And they're gonna show, yeah, we can, if we lead in the early game, we can finish it. If Dynasty leads in the early game, they have a harder time to finish. And that's what you kind of can see in these minutes. Well, it's 2 minutes, but 2 minutes is almost a Baron. It's half of a Dragon fight. It's a whole Baron actually. So you have to take care of that. These little points that you can actually see who can just finish faster and better, who can finish their games.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing to note about both teams is that they both had a bit of a rickety start during their split, and they consistently improved over the course of the split, so it's hard to really judge who's where at currently in terms of pure skill. We can only say for sure that German Gang, in terms of hand-to-hand wins versus Dynasty, they have C3, Dynasty has 4th, but they're like so close to each other. All we can say is really it's going to be a banger matchup. But maybe we can take a look at the individual lanes, individual players between the two teams, take a guess which team might favor one lane or the other, and we'll start with, of course, top lane. Axo for German Gang versus Hazagi for Dynasty, two very solid top laners, and top laners with very different champion pool for once, as we can see, while for the rest very often we have recurring champions. Here we have quite a difference, and stat-wise in my opinion also very close to each other actually.
Yeah, and you can see how Axo wants to play and how Hasagi wants to play. Axo has these lane dominant juggernaut top laners, and with Hasagi you have Jax and Renekton that he's focused in. Renekton is like the strongest laner there is, and Jax is for the scaling. And then you have 36% on Ornn, and that means Hasagi is playing for his team. He plays the tank with the engage, with the front line, and you see that Axo is just, yeah, I'm a threat, I want to be a threat, and I will be a threat. And there you see these two players have a different game set in their minds. You know, it's from team fighting and scaling into lane dominance into team fights. So for Axo it's win lane, win game, and for Hasagi it's scaling, team fighting, win game.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, of course, a very important role in this team game that League of Legends is we have the jungle coming up. Two very important players for any team, actually. We have Oval on the side on JMGG and Humlu hailing from Germany on the side of Dynasty. And we can immediately say both have the Wukong, and for the rest one beefy target, and on their third favorite pick they change Oval with a more heavy engaged champion, while Humlu goes for that sneaky Nocturne engage that is very explosive, less than like durable.
Yeah, and yeah, well the Wukong is up there in the top 3, but at the moment Wukong is not the strongest pick there is. He's still top 4, top 5 junglers, I would say, but he's not a first pick jungler. You pick the Maokai, you can pick the Rel, you can pick the Sejuani. They are all better in team fights, they're all better around objectives, and Wukong is just the threat that was a bit before some patches, and there you can see that I think the Wukong will not be a matter in this pick and ban phase, just because he is not that high on the tier list. Maokai and Rel are very strong. We saw flex picks of Maokai, yeah. We saw flex picks of Rel, and you even can flex pick Sejuani if you want. You can play a support, you can play a top lane. You see, they have more versatility in their champs than the Wukong has.
Yeah, absolutely. Always important to get your teammates ahead, and we now come to the two positions that can be considered the main carrying positions for any team in League of Legends very often. We get over to the middle lane with Drust for JMGG and Frankie for Dynasty. Here again we have this recurring pick for both middle laners. Still LeBlanc was really strong, still is very much to be respected, and we also have the Victor that has been recurring over the course of the split quite a lot as well on the side of Drust. Also one of the most favorable picks for example, Batu of the Rift Sloths. And yeah, here we can see two players also very close to each other.
Yeah, and you see what do you see? You see two LeBlancs. One is a clone, one is not, we don't know. But the static shift meta is still there. It's a bit nerfed, but it's still playable, and LeBlanc is the champ that can abuse it as much as Kai'Sa can. Also the Victor is coming back. I think the resources were very focusing on the Victor in the second pick phase. So that's also a good pick. It scales well. The laning phase is not that punishing, but he's immobile, but his scaling is really up there, and if you want to have scaling you can pick her. And you also have the sleeper. It was not on the list, but you have in the mid lane you have to take care of the Cassiopeia if you play double AD carry, because she's just gonna shred. If you play Tristana, that's mid at the moment, and you play Cassiopeia against it, you kinda lose it because Cassiopeia just shreds. She's very strong at the moment, so there you have also to take care of some picks that were not on that list.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the lane that is It can be prioritized by a jungler because it's very accessible, but now comes the lane that is usually prioritized by the junglers. Let's go over to what could be considered very often the main carries in a League of Legends team, the bottom position for AD carries very often. We have on the sides of JMGG Dan, and on the sides of Dynasty Dark Uni Q. An AD carry we know really well here in the ESLOL, has already been there in the spring split and is very, very strong. However, Dan also is not to be reckoned with.
Yeah, but you see, I think here the Dark UniQ has the upper hand with almost a double KDA. They're missing like 0.7. Also kill participation, he has 7 more. 8, sorry. And then also the CS per minute is higher. And you see of the champs, he has like these carries. I want to go in, I want to duel, and then you have for Dan, you have the Varus that's team fight focused and also good if you want to play him AP. Jinx is also hyper carry but fell off a bit in the meta, and then you have Lucian with me. You have the Lucio comp, you have the Lucian Nami comp, you have the you know, Lucian you can always play. It's pretty strong with these enchanters, and then you have Xayah and Kai'Sa for Dark UniQ, and Xayah is also very good. You can play with any enchanter, with any tank, and with the Rakan. And then you have Kai'Sa, the versatile AD carry there is at the moment in the meta. You have like you can build her AP, you can build her AD, you can build her, I don't know, tank, you can build her assassin, you can build her, she's everything. She's like the Lee Sin of the AD carry position.
Yes, of course. And maybe an edge also for Dynasty, who already have a very solid AD carry. JMGG is not going to be playing with Dan. However, it was very interesting to still go over him as a player because he was always very strong as well for JMGG. But they will be playing with DevQuob, whom we've seen play on the last regular season day. And he as well had a very, very strong performance there. So he's not to be underestimated. And last but not least, the ones who bring the carries forward, the ones who enable quite a lot in League of Legends. Let's go to our supports. We have Parsity for JMGG and the Crablord for Dynasty. Two very, very solid support players who are very, very close even in terms of stats.
Yeah, and you see also they have kind of similar champs that almost play the same role. You have like these two engage champs or pick champs with a hook or a dash engage, and then you have like these defenders of Braum and Yuumi. They kind of play a similar game. Like the peeling is just there. Yuumi was broken. I think she's nerfed. That maybe he is still she's still on there. But Craplord is really good at defending, also looking for the fights. He has 76 kill participation, and Parsity has 75. That's actually very high for these champs, for these players, because it tells you that they play around their supports. These supports are roaming. Braum, Nautilus, and Blitzcrank are very good roamers. Rakan and Nautilus also good roamers, and Yuumi is more the stick on you situation. But for these two players, they are looking for engage. So I think the Nautilus will be a focus in this pick and ban. With like the Braum maybe, because I think Braum got very good these last two patches. You also see him very high up on the LEC with like a Kai'Sa. Yeah, he can defend. He does Yuumi's job, but he does it in a tanky way. Yeah, therefore, also average vision score of like 86 against for Dynasty, and you have like 71. Let me check. Yeah, Parsity has 71 average vision score, and Crablord has 86. There's like 15 wards per game more, and I really think that's up there.
You have to also note for Crablord, was noted of there, that he had the highest vision score in a game with 169 in a game, which is completely insane.
Yeah, that's a lot. But it tells you how Dynasty play. They play for vision, they play for late game. But yeah, we are in the pick and ban phase, and there we have Nico, Kindred, and Milio out, and also Draven and Garen out. And yeah, will there be a Nautilus ban? Will there be not? What will be first picked? We will see that actually, like 10 seconds at least. And I think they shouldn't go for the Nautilus ban because you can. They want to first pick it. You never first pick a support, so it's free for Dynasty. The Milio is out. And there's the Volibear got buffed. Yeah, we want to talk about the Volibear this patch because playoff is patch week, and that means that Volibear is buffed, Aatrox is buffed. There are a lot of bruisers. I think Aatrox is getting nerfed again, and we have the Rel first pick here for German Gang, and a hover of Belvet, and then a hover, yeah, the dogs. We'll let the dogs out. And just for your interest, Nafiri is disabled this patch because of competitive reasons. It's every time the new champ is coming out, we have to wait one patch to be to play the champ competitive. But therefore you have the 3 for Dynasty, and we can still look what maybe go for an AD carry or take the. And also, the Jace is also very high on the tier list at the moment. Yeah, and that's the poke for Dynasty.
Yeah, and we saw the immediate focus for picking geared junglers here. Ral also with the flexibility, Maokai also kind of some flexibility, but in general very strong, kind of go buttony, you would put it, junglers.
Yeah, they're the go button junglers. We want to talk about go buttons, so we do this all day, every day. But they see the Kog'Maw and Braum, and then Kai'Sa is being picked for Dynasty. Now German can actually ban the Nautilus, and it would be very good because Kai'Sa and Nautilus are very strong, and also the Kog'Maw is not that mobile, and the ult goes through your Braum shield, so you have to be very, very clear to ban the Nautilus. I think that will be the first ban German Gang does here. Yeah, and then Darius is also in, and we also had Darius, Garen, and Nasus for Axo. So there are 2 top lane bans already out. German Gang is thinking, but I would think just ban the Nautilus. It's a safe pick. It's a safe ban here. And there's the Olaf because they want to probably do the top lane matchup easier because they are getting counter picked probably. And has Nasus ban, so he will not play it top 3 champ. Yeah, but there's still Aatrox.
I believe
there's still Aatrox.
By banning the Olaf, maybe they were not necessarily already planning on taking Nasus. In any case. Yeah. And we'll see, yeah, hopefully the Nautilus ban, as you've seen, or maybe they have something other or something else to handle it.
It looks like an Aatrox for German Gang. But yeah, Dynasty, they have to think, what do we want? Do we want a priority top laner, or do we pick the support? I think Nautilus would be really good here, also with the pick potential of Maokai, so the bot is pretty strong early game. You can burst them really down, but maybe Dynasty has something else in plan with a Soraka. Yeah, they're going for the sustain with the Soraka here.
Seems like they are maybe a battle of like lengths they want to go to with the Jace poke. Well, German Gang seems to be going for protect the AD carry comp. Full on, you have the Kog'Maw with a Braum with a Rel. Plenty of peel, plenty of protection, and yeah, indeed, a top lane that can split push might be the answer. I mean, a great addition to that to keep the enemy busy.
Yeah, and then you have Jax. You have another kind of scary. You have Syndra for the counter of the well, there's Jace already. A bit more range in the early game and also burst. Yeah, and there's a lot of magic damage on German Gang's side, so what we're gonna see here in the top lane, this can still be an Aatrox, still be fine in Jax matchup.
So I feel like the Syndra pick in order to avoid Frankie getting it for free.
Yeah, there's already Jace. And there's the Aatrox pick.
Right.
The God Killers on the lane. He will just God kill you. I am, when I can say, I really like this champ. The voice acting and the whole story behind is wonderful. But yeah, Darking on the Rift is a menace. And I think he's very, very strong, also good against the Jax. And if I say the poke comp of Dynasty with the engage of with one go button or two go buttons with Dark Uniq and German Gang with, we're just going to peel for Def Quap here. And if they focus Def Quap, Jax and Syndra are going to burst them. We'll see. The go buttons are only one on either side, or two, max two. Side lane is interesting. The Aatrox is good in team fights, good at fighting in backline, and good at fighting against bruisers. The Jax can just scale up against him with Grasp of the Undying. And yeah, if Soraka is getting bursted in the first thing that happens in the team fight, then I think German Gang won the fight.
Alright. Well, we will see how that goes. I definitely believe, I don't know what's your take on that, but this is once again the kind of game where they're gonna go all in on that bot lane. They wanna get their 80 carries ahead here. Especially for German Gang, I think that's gonna be even more important. Get that Kog'Maw in.
Dynasty, they said, yeah, we want the Soraka to defend the Kai'Sa with the Mule Field and the healing and stuff. I would have picked Nautilus here because just the combo of Kai'Sa and Nautilus is very strong. But I see the point why you don't take the Nautilus. Yeah, it's a Braum. If you go in, you get auto attacked, and you could just get stunned for free. So you want to take a ranged. I understand that. And I respect it too, because Braum is not to be underrated. He's very good at peeling, and he will do so very well.
Especially with a champion like a Kog'Maw, which can get the stacks off really fast. I mean, once you get some attack speed in, and it starts going in, like you're stunned in a matter of a few seconds if you're not careful. So yeah, I guess a very good call. You have the sustainability as well to survive those longer fights, which is what the Kog'Maw wants. Gives you more opportunities to maybe find the right angle to get him.
Yeah, and if you look at the Maokai, the ult can just be blocked by Braum. So you can actually have to take care what you do. Yeah, I think the Braum is a very good pick here against that. Of course, you want to defend your Kog'Maw, and you will do so. Yeah, if there's one, also the positioning of the Kog'Maw has to be very accurate. You don't have a lantern like trash. You have one flash. You probably have to go cleanse, just because of the sake of it. Just go cleanse. But yeah, it's hard. I can't say who will win this game, but if it goes late game, the Kog'Maw always wins. But it goes off pick potential. Dynasty could win. If they get a good pick, they can get an objective. It's hard. I can't say. Actually can't say.
So for the reference, during the last regular day or regular season day, there was also Defco playing for German Gang, and they had a rather similar comp. Top lane was a Darius, jungle was a Maokai, so those were different. But they also had the Syndra mid lane. They also had the Kog'Maw bot lane with the Braum. All in all, more or less similar, because the Maokai in a teamfight situation will be similar to Rel. He will go in, he will tank, he will do his thing. So something they've already played almost together, and something they should be comfortable on, especially if it's the second time you dish out that bot lane. should be very comfortable on it.
Yeah, maybe the AD carry is another player than Dan. He's more focused on these very fast on these AD carries that are very hyper.
So we have a remake that happened, and yeah, apparently due to fortunate circumstances, Rel did not get smite in the end. But we are back in Champ Select, will be redone as it was before, same bands, same picks, and we will be headed to the game. Now we've talked about a few matchups. Mid lane wasn't talked too much about by both of us. I think it's an interesting matchup. Both have quite a lot of poke. Both are super annoying in lane because of poke. JC,
yeah,
and mid game. And JC would say, oh, he might have the upper hand because at some point he can just jump the Syndra, do his thing, do burst a ton of damage. But then I think it's all gonna be dependent on Drust if he has the good reaction times to frame it away at time, get the ulti out, everything. So I think once level 6 hits, it's gonna be dangerous for Frankie especially.
Yeah, but before and also before the laning phase, before 6, the laning phase is still in Frankie's side. He can farm and queue at the same time with not interrupting anything. And I'm interested in the Kai'Sa. You see, you have Aatrox and Jace who have very high AD damage. Then you have Kai'Sa with, you can play her how you want and you just play her AP, and you go for the bursty stuff. You go for the executes, so you jump in and you hit the last point of your passive, and then boom, he's dead. That's, I think, the plan of Dynasty here. But who do you burst? You can only burst a Kog'Maw. Can you reach the Kog'Maw? That's a question you have to think about. Can you reach it? How do we do against this and that? What do we want to do here and there? I think it's really important that the Kai'Sa gets the poke out, but these pokes are, I think the poke is really on Dynasty side, and if they just poke poke and then just go in, I think they could be on the winning side here. But it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
This
definitely. And yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a battle of endurance in the end for JMGG. They'll have to wait for the good opportunity to go all in. Maybe have the good stun from the Syndra, or the good angle for the Rel to go all in. And that's like their best bet to that. But on the other hand, Dynasty has a lot of reaction or possible reactions to that. You have on one side, you have a Jace who has a knockback. You have Maokai ultimate, which defensively is also actually really great. Because, oh, people are coming onto us. I root them all, we can flee. You have the Zoraka, which can also just ult once people get low and so on. So, works really well. And I think in the end, they'll still have more or less a rough time to get to that Kog'Maw from JMGG. The best bet there is Kai'Sa, and if she's in the middle of it, can die really quick as well with a few good CCs. So, it's going to be a rough one.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough, and we will see it in about 3 minutes, but I really think it's gonna be rough for everybody. It's gonna be a close series, a close game. I actually see that I see no one ahead in the draft. It all depends on how do you do the early to mid game, and then do you survive the late game. Well, JMGG can finish faster than Dynasty, so they don't want to scale that fast because Dynasty has the late game buff. We know it, we feel it, and therefore, yeah, you have to take care of that. And we'll see.
Yes, so very first match of tonight at ESLOL second division. JMGG versus Dynasty. This is the elimination matchup here at the PlayOffs, which is played in a best of 5 series. And this has a few implications because teams can adapt and overcome over the course of the matches, of course. And there is not only within a matchup maybe this battle of endurance, but over the course of the 5 matchups there will be this battle of endurance. Most importantly, on a moral level, League of Legends, we all know, is a game where you can quickly lose the morale, and here it's going to be very important to keep it going even if you take a loss, because it's not lost after one game. You can always come back in the best of 5. You have a few shots to go further, and it's really important for them to go further, because the winner of this matchup gets to semi-finals, can go up against Full Clear Esports, and maybe go to finals against the Rift Slavs, and be a contender. And beat the Slavs and be a contender for first spot even. So it's everything or nothing over the course of this best of 5 matchup.
I still believe someone can take one game of the Slavs. And I hope it's one of these 2 teams that are coming up, or even Full Clear. One has to go. Yeah, maybe we will see how this the 3rd and the 4th place go out. We'll see what will happen, but it's still the first game. Still early to too early to tell you who will win this best of 3, because you never know. Last playoffs we had Reapers, and I think nobody had Reapers on their mind to win the whole thing. That's the thing, and German Gang has the favorite. They come from the amateur circuit. Maybe we do the playoffs of spring all over again, just with Rift already in the finals.
Yeah, and one thing to note as well, German Gang playing with DevCorp instead of Dan. Dynasty only played once against that team comp once. They played against German Gang with Dan. So it's a bot lane. They're not too accustomed to each other. They're not as accustomed to each other as others would be. So there's always something to take into consideration as well. They might not be adapted to their playstyle and so on. They'll have to see, and I think that's why it's great that it's a best of 5 series, because they can maybe take in the water in this first match, see how things go. Of course, that applies to both teams, and we'll see how they do so in this match. As we are headed into the Summoners Rift, ladies and gentlemen, German Gang on the blue side going up against Dynasty on the red side.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting. And we see that they're gonna ward top. And Rel is sitting in a bush. And just...
Might have the sapling coming out soon. Or comes Sasagi. Oh, they are looking to get a pick eventually. Yes, and they fall back. Let's hope that Umlu didn't scale his W yet. In the hopes of getting that kill because of it. That would be quite unfortunate.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, I don't think he did.
Double first strike.
And yeah, there we go. No early aggression in the end. Both teams start in a standard fashion. Both junglers starting at the Raptors as well.
Will we see a map split? Oh, if Dynasty gets that off. Yeah, it's a map split. Okay, so in a map split, the jungler that goes from top to bot, in my opinion, is stronger because he can help the bot lane, and that means a level 3 gank has to happen here for German Gang. And that's gonna be hard, or they just... yeah, the map is already split. I don't know, this will be interesting for... I think the Rel has to come at level 3. But they already know that Rel is bot. So yeah. Craplord and Dark Unique just have to play a bit more defensive for their sake. And Rel is finished with the camp. She's on her way. There she is. There's probably the gank now, but a good word from Craplord to see.
Is going to prevent from getting proper entry. Possibly that
Yeah,
goes
they
in with
flashed.
the flash and the Q. The stacks off on Crablord to flashes away on Dark Uniq as well. Flash in for Oval. The stun does connect. You get the stun on Dark Uniq and the damage is there from Death Quop. But they did make it to turret in time. However, at the cost of 2 summoners. But on the sides of JMGG, we also used flash on the support, on the AD carry, and the jungler even.
Yeah, that's not good for Maokai is coming now. And Kokma doesn't have flash, Braum doesn't have flash, so Dynasty is in the upper hand here. And there Maokai is just gonna get Oval back. Tells you go to your top lane, I don't want you here. Yeah, and the rest is all everything's still the same. So this is, yeah, now they are doing blue buffs the junglers, and it's also poking and stuff. And that's it.
Yeah, pretty standard stuff for the start. Not too much action gank here. Didn't work out in the end for German gang. And laners are back to their classical laning. In case of the mid lane, they go back to their classical poking. In case of top lane, they just bash each other's faces in.
Yeah, some aggressions here.
So here we have Oval at the top lane with the Hack Slash coming in. Zaki is already under the turret, however. And the Jack.
Interrupt.
We have on the bottom in a bit of a situation. Stun goes through onto Crablord and damage is there with the Ignite.
Oh!
It does go Orient. Crablord is able to survive with barely a pixel of health left. Humelu is also on the way here from his bot side jungle. But I believe he has been sighted by German Gang's bot lane.
Yeah, this is also interesting for Drust. Homolu is there, flashes out.
Just they're getting hit on level 6 is there, but it's not really enough. First blood does go to Frankie.
No, Drust eat in the wrong direction, else he maybe got a flash out. It's very unfortunate. To have.
Drake is up. Umlu is starting to get at that Scuttle Crab, gets some vision, but has to be careful. German Gang is there. Push him away.
Yeah, Dark Unique and Craplet want to back here.
Yeah, here the engage on the top lane. Hazaki able to get away with his CC.
Bonk, you hear the bonks.
We have German Gang going at the Drake there in the meantime. Uncontested by Dynasty, unbeknownst to them, I believe, even that's the first dragon going over to German Gang.
Yeah, and it's a hack stack Drake for the early game is pretty good. Now you get the Cloud Drake, so you don't have this you actually have a decent soul at this point. So with the early stats. And yeah, there's nothing going on. It's like the
Yeah.
the whole Division 2. You have the coin flip of getting team fights here and there, and then yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it is alright to be cautious here. Both teams can just wait for the AD carries to start doing damage. Seems like that is what they are going for. Play it safe, get your AD carry ahead with opportunities you do find, but don't like overestimate yourself and risk losing it all. We also have both. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you want to say?
I want to say we have both supports on the way, roaming towards that Rift Herald, and we might have a situation here as Oval is gonna engage the flash from Hazaki to escape past City's Q. And JMGG is taking over that Herald.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You see that stuff is about to happen, and all these little skirmishes. And there's nothing going on. Maybe have a dive here. Oh, Dark Unicorn is at the flash. Oh, Just is going to die too.
Here we have the catch on the mid lane. Frankie picks up a second kill on Drust here. Herald put down on the bot lane. Really coming from the side. Dark Unicorn is getting tower dive, but they have to be careful on the sides of JMGG because Dynasty is on the way. Situation turns around as Posty is starting to get really low. They are falling back, but Oval is still alive. Deckwarp is the first to fall at the hands of Frankie. We now have Humulu picking up a second kill on Posty. Oval all alone gets the horse back, but dies. Double kill for Frankie. And this sets a really bad precedent for JMGG in this game, because this chase that is 4-0 right now is gonna be a very big problem now.
Yeah, and Dynasty 5-0, the action came. The dive didn't happen fast enough, so they could just kill everybody on German Gang. And Hasaki got the plating. The Unleashed teleports are done. Top laners can join some fights now. And also, Frankie got every kill. That means the poke in the mid game is going to be insane.
Situation back to normal for the bot lane, but now Dynasty with the almost 3k gold lead are able to start setting the pace. Getting Frankie ahead puts him in a comfortable position mid lane and eventually in a good position to rotate towards other lanes and get those ahead. Things are starting to look really good for Dynasty in this game, don't they?
Yeah, it looks good. The early game is still good. So
Playing 1v1. Sun goes through, World Ender for Hazaki, but Axo did escape from that situation early enough.
yeah, this Dragon coming up in 19 seconds. Maybe we see a team fight.
For Dynasty, it is an opportunity to get further ahead on German Gang. Keep the bit of a lead they have in terms of Drake there. You can see the defensiveness for Drust immediately reacting when Frankie is seen on the screen. But German Gang with that is pushed towards the top side of the map. And Dynasty does have the numerical advantage on the spot side around Drake.
Yeah, and there's TP from Hasagi.
Yeah.
And then Oval is top now, so Dragon is free with the
Expected
fight.
him to go on to Axo, and we have Oval just around the corner, comes in, and they should be able to pick up that kill, get the cross-map play. They knew, as you said, that they would get Dragon, so they just went for the kill top, get some platings on Axo, get your split pusher a bit ahead here in this matchup.
Yeah, get the split pusher ahead. Get him some items, the Divine Sandra for the damage and healing. Then you will see some stuff happening.
Yeah, Dynasty keeps the pressure going. They can now kind of zone JMGG out of their own turret range because Humulu is just already a big threat. He's pretty tanky. They could do the tower dive with him. With that, they cannot really defend it as they would want, maybe.
Yeah, and Dynasty is just ahead. Aatrox with the Dustblade finished. Divine Sunray finished for Exo. And then you see some pushed items coming up. Oh, Craprot got interrupted. Yeah, it's definitely the slow side on the too, but there's Bang.
In the middle lane, Frankie might be caught here. The stun does go through, and here comes the damage. No, he flashes out just in time. Are they gonna get him with the ignite? No, he does survive with barely any life left, though.
They used 3 ultimates and couldn't kill him. How? He's so far ahead. The Eclipse Shield saved him. But now there's Hasagi getting goon squatted on top lane. Yeah, and Braum is coming.
JMGG picking up the second Herald this time around again. Opportunity for them to get some turrets down and get back in terms of gold because Dynasty is starting to keep the pace going.
Yeah, the poke is just disappearing. With Braum. Yeah, and the first tower on top side goes to German gang. Axo just takes it.
Yeah, since that situation where he got the kill on top lane, things are starting to work really well for him. Hasaki is a bit in a tough spot. It's one level behind. Especially Axo has been able to keep the push going with that the turret. Some money back in his team's pocket.
Yeah. And Humulu finished Smite, so the buffs will be shared for now. And
With that, we are back at a more calm state of the game. Next Drake in 1 minute 20. Team Smite is starting to worry about vision around it. We have Dynasty kind of agglomerating here on the mid lane. They might be going for the tower dive, looking for an angle. Instead of Corpacity.
yeah, and it starts to action a bit up. Now they switched lanes, so the action maybe goes somewhere. Well, is here.
Just right the corner. Waiting for one of Dynasty to just slip up. There's the mount up. Not go through with it. Drake up in 20 seconds. Now is the time to start getting that vision around it. Okay, the enemy vision. Get ahead. Dynasty currently in a good position. Very nice Q here from Frankie. DevCorp is already midlife with that.
Yeah, that's lethality with first strike. You poke, you get money, you get free money of your poke. That's the thing that's happening here.
Yeah. Herald on the mid lane. Get that turret, keep the push going.
Oh.
We have Axel coming in from the top lane. Stun does not connect there. Dross's stun does. And now we have Dynasty coming from behind, but JMGG kind of saw it coming and already retreated. Frankie now a bit in a tough position, has to retreat, but no, here comes the engage from Dynasty as they go all in. Pasti is the first to fall, and Hazaki just destroys the backline of JMGG as they pick up 3 kills in this team fight. Axo only one alive along with his 80 carry DevCorp. With that, Dynasty should get that Drake.
Yeah, that was very well played from Hazaki. It just comes in, flash bursts, thrust. So the AP threat is gone, and then the Kog'Maw is low and has to back because of Frankie's poke before. The engage from Hubulu, and then they get the dragon, the Chemtech dragon for free.
And so far, things are looking really good for Dynasty. Seems like their poke comp is working out. And they are now at 5k, 4k gold lead.
Yeah, it looks like it is really on the game for Dynasty. But Aatrox with Duskblade does really good damage. That's almost insane. And also Kai'Sa has the Nash's Tooth. So AP and invisibility upgrade.
Yeah. Max keeps the aggression on Hazaki, and look at that. He's such a threat to the Aatrox player currently. With Val coming in, they might be able to even tower dive him and get that tier 1 bot lane turret, putting them ahead in terms of turrets. They have to act quick. Here comes Oval, and here's the stun, and the damage is just insane. Hazaki dies in a matter of second, using his ultimate, and they can now push and take that turret. There's a third turret for JMGG, and that puts them on equal grounds with Dynasty. Puts them back a little bit more in the game.
Yeah, it gets also the Jax a bit ahead for the split push.
Yeah. DP is up for Axo, so he keeps the split push going, while Dynasty is agglomerating around that Baron. Maybe trying to bait out JMGG, but the vision coverage is pretty good.
Yeah, but Hazaki has probably to TP bot here. Well, I see Jax going back, so he doesn't have to.
Yes. He gets some nice damage into that turret.
Yeah, they could have baited out Axo's teleport here. We're starting Baron, waiting to get the teleport out because Hazaki was back at lane. To just force it when he comes back. But they did not want to try that out.
Yeah. Keep on pushing. Dynasty picks up their 4th turret, finally taking that tier 1, the top lane, by grouping up over there. Oval and Axo just go again for the play against Hazaki. He's forced to use his ultimate and flee. But that's the signal for Dynasty to go Baron, because that means jungler isn't dead, top laner is bot lane as well. They can go in. I don't think JMGG is going to be on time. They decide to interrupt. Nobody's engaged, Crablock getting really low. Oh no, and that's Dross getting jumped by Dark UniQ with Frankie's hook. That's first kill going to Dynasty here.
Yeah, that's the Kai'Sa build for you. You can jump in, CC, auto attack, W auto attack, and you burst someone down. That's the AP assassin for you.
Yeah. Works really well. However, JMGG was able to stop this Baron, just by coming in at the cost of 1 death. Question is, was it worth or not? I believe they got turrets on bot lane as well, so it wasn't completely for free.
No. Nothing is ever for free, but a kill is a kill. Some gold in your bank. And you can still enjoy these kills. Also, they are on the carries. The carries are fed of Dynasty, so this looks very, very good.
Yeah.
Also with a Chemtech Soul. Also with the dragons, the Maokai heals more, the Soraka heals more, Kai'Sa gets more shield, like all, and also the Aatrox is healing more. Everything of these little things are helping Dynasty at the moment.
Oh,
And if
absolutely.
and if they keep on like this and they get the Chemtech Soul, can dive even better because it gets damage reduction.
That guy has to be careful there, yeah. That's already a lot of damage and he's already midlife. Gotta give it to Dark UniQ. I mean, he does hit those kill shots.
Yeah, how is this legal?
Think again.
Yeah, can someone
Expected. In
nerf
the meantime,
that champ,
Max on the
please?
top lane is gonna go against Hazagi. Goes for the 1v1. Oh, goes in with the flash. The heal comes in from the Soraka. The plan is gonna heal Axel as well. But the CC is there. Yeah, that's the shutdown going to Hazaki. And with that, the Q for Dynasty to engage
Hazaki
onto that
TTP.
Baron. But GMGG goes in and they are starting to put out damage. But Frankie is just too strong. They keep Death Warp out. Thrust is dead as well. And with that, GMGG has no damage dealers as well. Pasity is the sole survivor for the Dragon-themed team. And Dynasty picks up the Baron.
Yeah, and that was the Baron, just like this. Of a little misplay of Axo, not thinking of the Soraka ult right there, and then Hasagi who just gets healthy and then kills. And also these team fights are not that easy if your fat member is gone. The Syndra is almost out of the game, it's really hard to get her somewhere. 0-5. Oh damn. It's like
Yeah.
almost half of your kills. Third of your kills.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely insane. His kill participation is like through the roof. It's over 90%. And Dynasty has now sole point. And with that, all the levers in their possession to control and set the game, the pace of this game. Objective bounties jumped in for JMGG, the opportunity to get some extra money back, especially with Axo always on the side lane. Although he did push those already pretty far in.
Yeah, and this... Oh, they're Axo getting caught on the side.
Yeah, gang onto him, he tries to get a pickup kill on Crablord, but the damage isn't enough with the CC. He doesn't get it using Stopwatch, might be able to find purchase, no, decides to go back. Frankie picks up another kill, but with that, JMGG decides, okay, we can push in mid lane. Humulu uses Nature's Grasp to stop their push, but they should be able to get that mid lane turret, which is already pretty low. With that, some objective bounty.
Yeah, and getting Axo here is really big. Pushing these 3 towers in a 3-1, in a 1-1-3. Nobody can get to you, and also see the 4k gold for Frankie.
Completely insane.
3k gold for Dark UniQ.
JMGG now with the back can kind of retaliate, at least stop that push. 4v3 they could even fight, but Dynasty doesn't give them a proper angle. That turret is so low though. And look at that! Just keeps on hitting. Dark UniQ on this Kai'Sa.
You know what I hate about AP Kai'Sa?
Poke.
Yeah, I tell you why. I play a lot of ARAM and you always see that build and you get hit, bum. And then in 3 seconds you can hit again, bum,
Hey.
and then dead.
And
What?
that happens.
This
just
is like
here.
ARAM! Just Dark UniQ does what he wants.
And with that, Dynasty keeps the push going. They're gonna pick up that inhibitor on the bot lane. They have Hazaki pushing the top lane in. And they should be able to, yeah, mid lane turret also down. That's mid lane inhib as well. They could even rotate towards the top lane or just keep the push going on the bot lane. They have all the cards in their hands currently. Keep the push going. Axo can't be there to defend against Tazaki. And that top lane turret is going to fall very soon as well. Yes, there we go.
2 inhibs down. 1 inhib to go. Oh, that Uniku may be caught.
Yeah, they decide to engage now that DevCorp is back in. The disengage from Dynasty is very good, but they keep on going. They have Humalu here stunned, and they should know with the heal he might survive with the prayer. No, they do get the kill on the Maokai player. Axo in the middle of Dynasty has to use the stopwatch. He is dying, and so is Oval, and the situation turns around. This Dynasty is now in control. 4 kills for the Dutch team, and that's the ace for Dynasty. And with that, they should be able to take the first win in this best of 5 series.
That's sending a message, ending on 20 kills against 4 on even 28 minutes. This is like it spices up the series. It tells you that Dynasty just wants to win this best of 5. I think Dynasty showed everything they needed to. They said, yeah, you're going for the late game comp, we are going for the poke comp, our poke is better against your engage, blah blah blah, and then just said, we won. That's everything we can say.
Yeah, it worked perfectly. I mean, the game was so undecided until this one situation. They got Frankie ahead, and from there on out, they just kept going, and the gap slowly grew further and further, and you saw that the poke just worked out in the end perfectly for Dynasty, and yeah, they're now in the driver's seat.
Frankie had 10 kills and 9 assists. That's 19 out of 20 kill participation.
Yeah.
So
it's a 95%.
The Jace was a menace.
95% kill participation. Completely insane. I mean, he was there every time, and I mean, that just shows how much of a threat he is on that mid lane. You have to be really careful up against him. So I think JMGG will definitely need to think about like trying to stop Frankie. Don't let him be too comfortable. But then you have another threat coming up. Dark Uniq was also very strong in this game with his poke, always sitting. But oh well. I would say before we get to match 2 of tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we will be heading into a short break in order to get the game ready, in order for the players to prepare and us to catch a breath as well, and we will see you in just a bit.